Thank you so much for setting the pace. Because I actually was going to introduce myself and say that, I'm not coming as an expert or with a secret code that, oh yes, I've hacked this self-doubt thing. Everyone still struggles with it. Even okay, I'll just give you a little backstory. When Kevin reached out to me regarding, this topic, when I was actually filling the form, I felt very confident. I was like, yeah, self-doubt, yeah, I want to empower young professionals. And then when he said, oh, the form you filled, okay, it's time to actually lead a webinar. I was like, oh, okay, so early, and I felt so scared. But you know, this is me showing up with some helpful tips I hope will resonate with you too. So, as a brief introduction, my name is Elo Ologe. I work as a payroll coordinator at Anga Staffing. Um, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be able to share my insights and things that has helped me in my professional journey. So, yes, keep going even when you have no idea what you're doing. Just a brief um, overview of content. Yeah, of course, my PowerPoint has to disappoint when I need to do most. Sorry. Yes, it's on here now. So this is how this is going to flow. I want it's not necessarily something that has to follow a traditional strict path. I know I said I don't want any interruption, but if you want to have questions, you can bring up along the way. But um, the first bullet point is actually very interesting to me because how can you be a main character and also be silent? So in the next slide, we'll see who this main character is and why it's silent. And then I'll also walk you through a time when I almost gave up. Not in like a dramatic, oh my gosh, I can't do this anymore, but you know, in a way that was quiet, in a way that I felt like, maybe I'm not really built for this. And then finally, we'll end up with a soft reminder to take with you. Nothing too serious, nothing too deep, just something like a warm hug to end this slide. And this is where I'll need your help. This is where I'll need you to say something to anybody, any girl that is trying to navigate their professional life. So, drum roll, let's reveal the silent main character. Oh, okay, one, two, ready. Woo! I hope you did drum roll because everyone was really silent, but yeah. So, why is self doubt? Why is it the main character and why isn't silent? Well, it's because it's not always loud like fear. It doesn't scream at you, it doesn't grab you at that very instant. It's quiet, it's subtle. It comes with questions like, oh, that's a silly question. Why would you say that? You sound so stupid right now. Or don't apply for that role. You're not entirely ready yet. You need to be realistic with yourself. Or that panel session you were invited to, what do you even know that you have to say? And then it whispers in your ear, it stops you from taking challenges, stops you from taking the opportunity. And eventually you don't share, you don't show up, you don't contribute to what you're meant to do. And then slowly it becomes the main character of your life. It starts influencing all the decisions and actions you make. And the worst part about self-doubt is the pressure it brings. It doesn't just, whisper in your ear. It actually gives you like heart attacks. And then I'm sure we're on LinkedIn here. It just to me, LinkedIn used to be a platform where they share jobs, right? But now I feel like if you're not a CEO or a CFO or you're not managing meeting with stakeholders, you don't belong there. And then you see someone with five different job titles, they're winging things, they're collecting awards, collecting recognitions, and then there's you trying to send that email, trying to respond to Richard or James, explaining something you already told them on the phone five times already, and every day you doubt yourself at your job if you're even meant to be here in the first place. And sorry, did I mention that this person that has five different titles still has time for yoga and Pilates because they always have time to go to the gym regardless. And then, yeah, oh, I already said then there's you. My favorite bullet point is actually the last one. Did I pick the wrong career path? Because online, we see how things are so glamorous. We see, oh, day in the life of this person, day in the life of that person. And there's you huffing and puffing on the phone, trying to meet up with all the unrealistic demands that your customer sets. And then, you know, self-doubt creeps in. A little story time of how I almost gave up but didn't. I came across a newsletter that really resonated with me. But before I came across that newsletter, I was really struggling. I wasn't getting any job offers. I wasn't getting any interviews, and it was really hard for me. But when I read the newsletter, it was about a lady that switched data from HR to data analytics. And it awoke something in me. It wasn't like oh my gosh, motivation, do whatever I like. But the little steps she highlighted really resonated with me. And that's why I said I was going to share it today. Um Yes, things that help me keep my sanity. So reading and self-development, we're so opportune, we're so blessed to be in a time and age where everything is literally online. If you want to be a baker, if you want to be a chef, you want to be except a surgeon, you can't be a surgeon online. You need to go to a proper, school for that. But anything you want to be is on there. All you have to do is just access these resources, and then it helps you in your self-development. And then the second image, I know it looks like a grammatical error, but it's actually a term we use in Nigeria, is follow who know road. And it literally means follow people that actually know where they're going. And it comes in form of mentorship, coaching, even webinars like this. And I'm happy that we're in a community as well that has a lot of mentors who are available to shape your path for you. You don't have to work for 5, 6, 7, 8 years before you figure out, oh, this is where I actually want to be. These mentors have actually gone through these same steps and they're there to help you shorten the process. So it's like a cheat sheet or like a past question on how you want to navigate your corporate life. And then this one is quite controversial because different debates how AI is bad for you, another debate how AI is actually good for you. Well, personally for me, AI has been fantastic. It doesn't always you know it it helps me in the sense that when I don't necessarily feel like speaking to people, or maybe I'm not really in the mood to speak to my coach or my mentor, it helps me clarify my thoughts. It helps me, okay, where's the problem actually coming from? Where's this self-doubt actually coming from? And then when we walk through things step by step, through questions, through resources you actually provide, it has really helped me. So another thing is block out the noise. While these suggestions are actually very valuable, at the same time, you need to filter out what really matters to you. So, this is where the self development comes in. It gets to a stage where you're aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, and then you take what actually matters to you. You don't um take everything you see online and then you have to do everything, and eventually you break down. So it's very important that you filter out what really matters to you and block out the rest. I have a really interesting slide. Is Oh, why is it gone blank now? Oh, okay, sorry, I added a transition. So this song was so beautiful to me. I'm not going to influence anybody's thoughts or anybody's reasoning. I just want you to watch this video and then in your quiet time, just reflect on what it means to you. So I'm going to play it now. I've seen that video close to 10 times now and it still gets to me. So um, this is where, as I mentioned earlier, this is where I would need your help. I just want to leave a soft reminder for the girl still trying. I initially wrote a poem, a really long poem. I was like, I don't want to bore anyone with that. So it'll be more interesting if professionals on here leaves like short any message at all for anyone for the girl still trying. So this is where you guys come in. Does anyone want to go first?
Go on then, I'll come in. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but there's kind of something along the lines of like when you feel most uncomfortable and kind of like that's when you're growing. And just kind of remembering that like you're learning all the time. If you've kind of opened yourself up to that, you know, if you've got a new opportunity, some additional responsibility, whatever it might be, like the reason you feel uncomfortable right now is because you're growing and learning. So if you think of, you know, a previous occasion where you growed and learned something else, you can look back on that and you've kind of added that skill and expertise into what you're using right now. That's what's happening again. It's like it's a cycle, isn't it? So remembering that actually from the discomfort and you're challenging yourself, like good things will kind of come from that.
Oh, thank you so much, Karen. That was really beautiful.
Thanks for sharing the video.
Oh, thank you. Okay, should I read out what Laura said? Everyone can see. Oh, sorry, everyone can see it. So
It's for the benefit of the recording, though, Eleanor, if you can read it out, that'd be great because people won't see the chat on the
okay.
video.
All right. So Laura said, yesterday I heard someone say, if not you, who? Yeah, I mean, if not you, who is going to do it? And Donna said, the comfort zone is a safe place, but nothing grows there. Powerful word. So thank you, Donna. Thank you, Laura. And thank you, Caroline. Sorry if I mispronounced. Oh, and Adejumoke said, girl, find the right circle and you will find you are more than enough. Word. Thank you so much, Adejumoke. So, should I read out my poem then? Maybe it would. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So, to the girl who's still trying, I know how tired you are. Tired of showing up. Tired of questioning yourself. Tired of wondering if your best is ever going to be enough. But I hope you hear this. Really hear it. You're not behind. You are not lost. You are not a burden. You are growing, even on days that feel like standing still. You're allowed to be proud of the quiet progress no one sees, and you're allowed to take your time, and you're allowed to rest without explaining why. Self doubt may walk beside you, but it doesn't get to speak louder than your softness, your effort, and your heart. So if today all you did was keep going, I'm proud of you. And I hope deep down you're proud of you too. That's the poem. So, yeah, that's all for me. Thank you. The questions.
Excellent.
If there
Thank
are
you, Eleanor.
questions, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
so
still
as I say,
share
if
my
anybody has any
screen.
questions or coming back to Libby's point at the start, you know, we've all got different experiences about overcoming self-doubt and dealing with these kind of things. If you have any mechanisms that you use, feel free to raise those and help, you know, share your experiences. Laura, your hand's up, mate.
Yeah, I've got a quick question. You mentioned about using AI. What can you give us some examples? Like which engine did you use and what prompts did you put in there to get some clarity?
Yeah, so for me, I use ChatGPT, and it started from when I joined this community. Oh, I started this job actually, and I got really discouraged because it wasn't necessarily what I expected, and I started getting bored. So I started asking questions like, "Oh, um, I'll take a screenshot. I'll take a screenshot of someone on LinkedIn I liked, and then I'll put it on there, and I'll say, how did this person get to where they are now? And then it will list out, oh, because of visibility, because of this, because of that. I'm like, oh, how can I be like this person? And then little by obviously, ChatGPT is not always accurate, but the little things it said really resonated with me. And then another thing is, I actually have coaches and mentors, so based on the feedback I get from ChatGPT, then I'll ask my mentor, okay, what do you think about this? Should I go for this or go for that? And then little by little, you know, he helped me. And I said I wasn't going to influence anybody's thoughts. But if you notice in the Moana video, she said it's not there at all. It's inside you. So once you just discover that thing inside you, it just opens up to, because you don't need permission from anybody to do whatever you want. It's already there. You just need to find it. So that's what worked for me. I hope that answered the question.
Did, thank you.
Thank
I'd never
you.
thought of using it like that. I might do
It's
now.
it's fun. I'm not. It's awesome. Like I pay for ChatGPT Plus, and it's the best investment ever.
Mhm.
I
So
think my favorite thing about LLMs and things like ChatGPT is you can ask the stupid question. There's no fear of it's
being
going, well,
judged.
that's a stupid question. Why have you asked that?
Yeah.
And if you don't get the answer you're looking for, you can say, "No, idiot. I was actually asking this question," without any fear of them being, the rejection that their response wasn't what you expected. So you can just keep going and going and going until you get to where you need to be.
I'd never
Zoe,
thought of putting
sorry.
a snap of someone's face. I'd never thought of putting a snap on someone's face in there. I'd ask it like a wordy question, but wouldn't have thought of like this, like picture and then how.
Yeah, it gets. Although Kevin, I would say you need to be careful, because if they do take over the world, they would really come for you. You need to be polite all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thank you, Martha. Thank you.
We've
So
got a few more hands up. So
okay,
Zoe,
sorry.
you had a
Um,
point to
yeah,
raise?
it was on the AI tools and stuff. I've just dropped in a link to one of the ones that I quite like to use. It's called Goblin Tools, and I actually found out about it through the Women in Tech community. But one of the ones that I really like is the judge that it has on it. So when you're in that sort of self-doubt mode, it's if you think someone's being like overly critical, or if you're reading into something, it's really handy if you can just put in that message like that you've received, and it'll sort of give you an idea of what the tone is. Or if you think that your tone's not going to land quite right, you can put in the message that you're going to send, and then it will give you a judge of what it thinks the tone is going to be. And I find that's really helpful for like if I am doubting myself or doubting what someone said and like where the criticisms come from. But there's also some really cool tools in there, like if you've got a big task and you just don't know where to start with it, like the magic to do, you can put in the task and then it'll break down all the little steps for you in between, and give you like a little tick list. So I find that's really useful. So hopefully other people might find it useful as well.
Thank you, Zoe. Yeah, I'll be using that a lot. Sorry, I think Adejumoke has a question.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank God I joined. Like I put in the chat. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We
Okay,
can.
okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask a question. How do you get mentors? If I can ask that question.
Yeah.
How do you get mentors? And
I,
one of the things you said, sorry, one of the things you said when you were giving your presentation, you said block out the noise. And I was just thinking to myself, I have to probably, tape my boys' mouths. I have two boys, and that's one of the greatest challenges I have as a woman in tech, because once they're around, it's difficult to like juggle things. That's one of the challenges. I don't know if any other person has the same challenge as me, but I want to catch up on so many things, and I have to catch up on stuff for them as well. And there's always a battle, to balance things out. So it was just funny. I was like, okay, block out the noise, as in strategy on how to do those things. Something I need to find out. And thank you very much for the Goblin tools. I think it's very useful for me, because one of the challenges that I have is, you know, um, guessing the tone of people's comments, and even mine. I might come across as, because they say we Africans are sort of, we come across as aggressive, and maybe right now as I'm talking to you, maybe I'm sounding aggressive. I don't know. So, and that's one of the things that hinder me from talking most times, is in places like I'm like, oh, I don't want to come across this way or that way. But your presentation has really it's been helpful today to like, okay, reassure me that I can keep going, and I shouldn't be afraid to let my voice be heard. So, but my major question is about, getting mentors. How to get mentors? Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. So Kevin has actually dropped a link for where you can find mentors. My mentor,
Okay.
Susan Graves, she's not on here right now, but she was the first person I reached out to, and she was absolutely amazing. She wasn't in my field, like my line of work, but she did not give up on me either. She was like, okay, you know what? Even though I can't necessarily help you specifically, I'm going to guide you on how to do it. So that is actually really another thing you mentioned about your boys. So this is where, for me, this is where the self-development comes in, because one thing I was told by another mentor, she said you need to know your why. Once you know your why, I'm not like undermining the fact that obviously being a mother is a huge job. So, but when you know your why you're doing this thing, there's this drive, there's this nudge you get from even when you're tired, when you're exhausted, when it becomes too much, when you remember, okay, this is why I'm doing this thing, so I have to get this done, no matter if these boys want. So um that has helped me because I stay with my family, and we're like five in the house, and I'm also an African as well, and I'm the first girl. So you can imagine, you think that despite the fact that we're in this country, they're meant to adjust, and no, my parents did not adjust. But when you know your why, obviously you won't let any distraction whatsoever. And again, I'm not undermining the fact that being a mother is actually a huge job. So I hope that helps.
Just picking up on the
Thank you very
mentoring.
much.
Sorry to interrupt. Picking up on the mentoring point there, I have popped a link in the chat to our mentoring platform, which is just one of many options out there. But I guess the beauty of the way that our platform works is it's like a marketplace for mentoring, so it's always available. So there's no concept of waiting for an application process or anything. It's literally anytime you think you might need some support, you can go into our guide application. You can populate a profile, which helps the platform understand what skills you're trying to work on. And then it will show you all the mentors that we've got. And we've currently got about 200 available mentors out of the pool of 700. So loads of those a choice. And you choose the one that you want to connect with. And all that means is you invite them for a chat. You have a video call and you work out, are they the right person for me? Are we compatible? Personality, skill set, availability, etc. And if you are, you determine then what that looks like going forward, whether it's, regular sessions over Teams, or whether it's going to be a one-off or it's going to last for years and years. It's entirely up to you. So yeah, hopefully that should be as comfortable and easy a process as possible. And it sounds like from Elahor's experience that it's been positive for her.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Elahor, before we go to Ndidi?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to call her as well. I don't have anything to add to that.
Hello,
Ndidi,
everyone.
how you doing?
Hiya. So first and foremost, for someone who's having self-doubt, you don't present as someone who's having self-doubt. So well done.
Thank you.
I just really want to say that, there's a very joyful aura about you. So
Thank you.
it made the whole presentation really, really, really good, really, really interesting. You had a slide that said something about getting some sort of advice for the girl who's still trying. What I always go by is half the time you're expecting to fail. Yeah. But what if you don't? What if you fly?
I mean,
Do you know what I mean? Like you're already thinking you're gonna fail anyway. But what if you don't fail? But do you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
then for you to start thinking about what that looks like. Because you know what failure looks like. You
Mhm.
know it's not an option. You have already had all the scenarios in your head about, damn it, if I fail, this is what it's going to look like. But then if you don't
Yeah.
fail, are you mentally, subconsciously, somewhere at the back of your mind, making room for that? Because
Mhm.
that really does change how you begin to apply yourself. It changes how you look at yourself. Words of affirmation is also a good thing,
Mhm.
because like you rightly said, no one's going to walk this journey with you. It's
No.
your journey, whatever road you want to take, whatever decision to make, ultimately is yours. But you should just be confident that you know what, the fact that you are here already means that you are meant to be here. Now, whether the path is right or wrong, whether it's left or right, all of that would unravel. So yes, I try not to subscribe to the imposter syndrome, because yes, it's a buzzword that everyone says, but the fact that you're already here, you've done so many things with yourself to get you to where you are, hence the reason why you are where you are now. So it's to pull on all those things and be the best version of what it is that you can. And someone mentioned something about tone and how you respond. And I know, and I think it's Jumoke or someone that said, being an African, there's always that whole slight aggressiveness. Yes, I agree to an extent, but it's also with women in general. We've been conditioned that we also always have to be the loudest voice, either silently. So we cower, but then we know when we're writing an email, we're bringing all the tools to respond to an email, which we already know probably might have or might be interpreted as being aggressive. But that's okay. You can't let someone else's non-realization of what it is you're trying to say project on you. It's a professional environment. You state the facts as they are. It's never got you can't control how something is going to land. What you can control is your transparency. What you can control is how you put your message across. That is your ownership of your person. And the most important thing is you can't let somebody dictate who and what your person is, whether personal or private or in the workplace. Because the person who's hired you has hired you because you have a skill set. Someone has seen something in you that you are able to bring. You see what I mean? So yes, the self-doubt is real. Don't get me wrong, it is real. But at the same time, I don't think we should allow ourselves to be inundated with the fact that, okay, you have self-doubt. You are a human being. We're all evolving. Everything is going to be new. Every experience is new. But don't let that dissuade you from exactly what you're saying, Jumoke, which is do everything that you can to get you to where you need to be. But as you also pointed out in your presentation, rest is important. Balance is important. Yeah. And good luck. You're definitely on the right track. Good luck. And thank you for having the webinar. It was really good. Really, really, really good.
Thank you so much. That was really powerful. That was so good. Thank you so much, Ndidi. Can we have Blessing as well?
All right. Good morning, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is not just question to you but I think for the entire house. So when I came across the email for this presentation, and I was like, okay, this is actually, resonates with me. For someone that have worked with data sets back in my home country before I came over here, I came here for my master's. I just finished my master's in data science and artificial intelligence. But for the period of time when I was in school until now, I found myself working within the healthcare, within the health and social care, that's for care jobs, just to keep up with my bills and all that. So now I'm kind of finding it, I kind of find myself struggling to realign myself to, the role that I really love, like the tech role and everything. And I'm getting this imposter syndrome and self-doubt all the time. So sometimes when I see roles to apply for, I just feel, I don't feel confident enough to apply for those roles. And I'm kind of struggling to, I'm still working as a healthcare assistant, and deep down, I know that's not the job for me, right? But I'm finding myself struggling to, okay, like some applications that I will see that ask for your previous experience. And I'm finding myself struggling. Should I put the care experience or should I not? If I don't put the care experience, then I have a lot of gap to explain. For like over a year, I have to explain what have I been doing in this period. Recently, I got an internship, which is slated to start sometime in July. I'm excited about it because at least I know that's, one step forward. But somehow deep within me, I still feel, that self-doubt. Do I really have what it takes to bring onto this internship role? Do I really, especially being a hybrid role, which I'm not even going to be communicating. I'm not going to be seeing people I'm working with like on one-on-one basis much often. So I still have that self-doubt. So I think that's one of the reasons why I joined this webinar today. And I'm really excited about things I've heard so far, especially from the last speaker, Ndidi. Thank you so much. I, grabbed a lot of things from what you have said, but I just needed to put this out there. I'm still having to struggle with that, self-doubts. I find myself doubting, things that on a normal day I could do like passionately and all that. So even building my skills, I know things to do, but I'm not motivated to do them. Like I know I'm supposed to build my skills in certain areas, but somehow I'm not motivated. I'm distracted. I don't know. Maybe one or two advice here could help me get through this phase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing, for your question and your insight as well. What you said really hit close to home because I came as an international student as well to the UK, and that pressure. My mom currently works as a carer, and because as an international student, you either get a sponsorship job or you go to care basically. But one thing I would always say, and I always tell everyone I meet, is always knowing your why. And I love that you never forgot about what you really like, what you really wanted, which was a data um science thing. So that is one factor, one energizer to push you along your journey. And another thing I would say is I think Indy mentioned it. She said, well, what if you fly? You already know how it looks like when you fail, but what if you don't fail? And then again, surrounding yourself with the right community, because I'm sure everyone here is listening, and they would, also offer advice or suggestions on what has helped them as well. Surrounding yourself with the right community, the right people will give you the drive you need as well. And I hope um you find that community. Obviously, you're in the community already, but reaching out to people is something that is also really helpful. And yeah, if anybody has any additional thing that has helped them.
I think on that community point, Ella, we've got first and foremost, the mentoring platform again is an option for yourself, Blessing, to connect to somebody to get some one-to-one support. Marta's on the call, who is running our data community. So within Mighty Networks, as well as having this overall community that we're all part of, you can subscribe to separate communities of practice, whether you're interested in data or cyber or AI or anything else. So I'd say if you're not already, join that group. I'll put the link into the chat here while I'm talking. And then within that, once you're in there, don't be a wallflower. Make sure people in that group know who you are and what journey you're on, because then that opens you up for advice. It's an invitation for people to actually come and speak to you and offer any guidance. It is always tough coming back from any career break, whether that's as an international person or having time out for kids and things. And my advice would always be don't leave anything off your CV, because I'd rather see that somebody had the work ethic and was working than hadn't been working for those years that you've been working in healthcare. But do try and pick up experience where you can. So the internship sounds great. There are some platforms where you can volunteer to do work for charities. So there might be some charities that are looking for people to come and do some data work for them. And then just any other things with online projects and practice things that you can do around data. Anything that gives you a certification that shows you're upskilling constantly that you can brag about on LinkedIn is always good. But yeah, I'm sure that other people that actually work in the space will have some more pragmatic advice than I can offer as well. Caroline, your hand's up, mate.
It is. I don't have any specific advice.
Oh, you've muted yourself by accident, I think.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
So I don't have any specific advice in your field, but I just think listening to you, you've got an amazing start to a story there, of your journey, and I think there's so much potential in what you could do and what you could achieve. You know, you've obviously kind of set yourself up for something quite specific that you're really interested in. And so getting back to Elahar's point around, you know, defining your why, you know, if you really think about what your aspiration is, what you would like to achieve and why you want to do that, you know, at some point in the future, you're gonna like look back and think, wow, you know, once I was there and I was doing my care jobs and I studied really hard and look at what I've achieved since. And I think that's kind of how you need to frame it in a way, is like, where do you want to get to? What's your aspiration? And almost work it backwards. You know, what small steps can you start today? So joining that data community, or, you know, hooking up with a mentor, or you know, joining more webinars, whatever it might be, and get more confident in networking as well, and kind of shouting about what you're good at, about what you've learned. You know, and you don't always have to be an expert in that or have the job title that matches it to add value. So go get them. That's what I think.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to add something to what Caroline said about looking at your journey. I came across a post on LinkedIn about like an achievement jar where you just track how far you've come. It's actually a really good mood booster. So when I find the link, I would because it's been automated now, I would send it to Kevin and maybe everyone can have a go at it. But it's really good where you write down or document your little achievements, either little or big achievements. Document them down. They're really good. It's really good.
Yeah, and I think my so to me, to add my piece of advice about navigating self-doubt, we've done a few imposter syndrome sessions recently, and the one thing that gets mentioned every time, and there's always somebody that says I started doing that and it's great, is keeping like a praise book or record of achievement. So every time that you do something that makes you feel good about yourself, you get a positive comment, you achieve something, keep a note of it, because if you're anything like me, you'll forget that within 5 minutes. But when you look back then on that record of things you've collected, you'll go, holy hell, I'm pretty good, you know. That's a great achievement. And then when you come to interviews and things and people say, oh, have you got an example of when you've done this? Actually, you will have those reminders of those things that you've actually done, which are pretty impressive.
And Kevin, that's a really great tip actually as well, isn't it? I think most of us kind of go through an annual kind of review cycle, or a mid-year review cycle, when you have to start coming in to fill out those documents. What have I done over the last 6 months? You go, oh my God, I've done loads of stuff. I know I've been really busy, but I like to keep a folder in my emails, and I just drop emails into them if someone gives me some feedback, or if I, delivered on a project or a piece of work or a new report or something like that. I just drop those emails in there as that constant reminder of what have I done this quarter, half year, etc. Just because I think we most of us tend to get super busy at work, right? And it's remembering all of those little nuggets of things you've done or achieved and feedback and stuff. So I think by trying to keep a constant record, a notebook, an email file, whatever works for you, just to keep those nuggets of info, little reminders, right?
Excellent. So unless anybody's got any final points, I think that's a great point to end on. Elahor, thank you very much. You've got 10 minutes to get some food, so please make sure you eat something today.
Thank
but yeah, I'm
you.
sure everyone will join me in saying what a great session it was. Thanks everyone else for your input, and
Thank
don't
you,
forget,
everyone.
we do these every week. You can find all the events in Mighty Networks, so don't wait for me to email you on Wednesday morning. Check there so you don't miss out on anything, and we'll see you all soon.
Thanks, Elahor. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.